Hello, everybody, and welcome to the DM Toolbox. I am Joe, also known as Irogroth, and today I want to talk to you about a content provider for tabletop role-playing games known as Adventure a Week. They put out all sorts of good content, but their kind of crown jewel is a adventure known as Rise of the Drow. Now, they originally created this for Pathfinder back in the day. But recently they did a Kickstarter to bring it up to date, bring it to 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, and they really went all out and they improved it, they expanded it, they updated the art, they updated the content. It is a massive book. If you own this book, there's a physical book and a PDF, but the book's about 500 plus pages. Um, a little under 200 of that is the actual adventure. Then there's 100 something pages of like world building that are locations and places and creatures and all sorts of stuff. There's another 200 plus pages of just monsters, entire bestiary in the back of NPCs and monsters and stuff like that. So it is a huge book, and I love it. It's probably one of the prizes of my bookshelf for my RPG games. So definitely check it out. You can go to adventureweek.com to check out Rise of the Drow and the other content that they have. They do offer a bunch of what they call the mini dungeons, which are like 1 or 2 page little dungeon adventures that you can run as a one shot or add into your D&D campaigns. So they've got a lot of good stuff. I definitely recommend you check them out. What I want to talk to you about today is I am working with them to bring Rise of the Drow to Foundry Virtual Tabletop. Now, if you're not familiar with Foundry, it is the newest virtual tabletop out there. There's Fantasy Grounds and there's Roll20. Foundry is kind of the next iteration of virtual tabletops. Now, Rise of the Drow is already available on Fantasy Grounds, and if you're a Fantasy Ground user, check it out. They did a great job. It's awesome. It's supposed to be coming out to Roll20 soon, I believe. So look for that if you're a Roll20 user. But I recommend you at least take a look at Foundry. I'm more here to talk about Rise of the Drow, but I will show off Foundry a little bit while I'm at it. Foundry is a really great system because it's something unlike Roll20 that's a site that you go to and it's pay gated and you have to pay for a level of use or something like that if you want dynamic lighting and stuff. You just buy Foundry. It's a license. You buy it, you own it, you run it on either your home computer or on your web server, or there's a couple of hosting options out there. There's two official Foundry hosting options. The one I use is called Foundry Server. It's at foundryserver.com. You can check that out, and for a fee, they will host your game for you up in the cloud, give you storage, FTP access, and all that stuff. So check out Foundry, though. You go to foundryvtt.com, and you can check it out. I have links to all these down in the description below. So uh, let's jump in. Let's take a look at Rise of the Drow in Foundry. So what we're looking at right now is we just have our landing page. This is essentially the cover art of Foundry. Um, and this is kind of what I would have come up when the players first log in. So up here, you can see I have some links here. These are to different scenes. Now, there's a ton of scenes in the game. I just have some active ones that I want some quick access to. But we do have our scene navigator here where we can go in and get into any scene that we want. And I'll show you some of this later as well. But we'll start off over here. This is the journal. If you're the dungeon master, this is where you kind of live. This is where your story is and all your text. So we have our forward, we have our preface, which I mentioned earlier. I believe that the art in Rise of the Drow is fantastic. They spared no expense on artists. I think it's some of the best art you're going to see in a third-party material out there. Probably even better than some of the art in some of the D&D books. I mean, I absolutely love the art in this book. So check it out. So we have our chapter 1. This is where we're starting. Darkness arrives. Navigation start here. I put this right up here so we know where to start. So I have a little navigation tool, kind of like our table of contents for the first chapter, and we can kind of walk through this. What's happening in the beginning of this book? This is a homebrew world created by Adventure of the Week. So you're in this starting town, and the adventurers either start off there, or you can run one of those mini dungeons I mentioned earlier that Adventure of the Week has to kind of introduce them to the town. There's a couple out there that are, I believe, centered around the town, and they're drawn to the cathedral because there's some ceremony going on. Everybody in the town's heading to this cathedral, so they go there, and they're there to witness this ceremony of light or something. And the real premise is the Drow. This is Rise of the Drow. So the Drow are out there doing Drow things, which is nothing good. They're there to interrupt the ceremony, to take prisoners, and all that kind of stuff. So let's take a look at the cathedral. Now I have it right up here, so I'm just going to click this. It'll bring up our cathedral scene. I'll close this navigation. And I just want to show you here kind of the map. And Foundry does have really cool dynamic lighting. If you were using Roll20, you would do your dynamic lighting, and maybe you'd use a different color wall for the doors, and you go into the dynamic lighting layer and drag the wall out of the way. Foundry just has doors. So you see here my yellow are my walls. These ones right here are doors. Red ones are actually locked doors. And the players can interact with those doors. They can actually, as a player, this is my player token, he can actually go up and click on the door and open it up and see outside. So that's really cool. And if you're the DM, which I am, I can lock the door so that he can't open it up. So if you want to keep them out, or if it's a locked door, or you don't want your players doing stuff, you can do that. You can actually also pause. So if you hit spacebar, it pauses the game. So now they can't move their tokens at all. So you don't have to worry about them wandering off and going and exploring, and while you're trying to read text and stuff to them. So this is kind of the cathedral. This is where it all starts off. You can see the dynamic lighting shifting. I have torches on all these pillars and everything. If we listen closely, you'll even hear the fire, and you'll notice the firelight flickering because there's a torch effect on that light. So you can actually hear, if you listen, the fire flickering. So some stuff happens here, and they're gonna go off through this cathedral, and they're gonna go upstairs, and we'll take a look upstairs. There's some stuff going on up here. We have some imps, and over here, I got this guy hanging out. But they come up top, and when they get up to Area 11, now we want to know. You're the DM. You can come over here and try to find this stuff, and you'll see here I have a section for cathedral locations, so I can go, oh, Area 11. Top of the bell tower, here it is. Or you can click right here, and I have all these quick access notes. So you want to know what's in Area 11, you can just click this, and it brings it right up. Now, this just says it's roofed, but open the air, the bells are housed here. So this is more just a general description of the room. But we want to know what's going on here. I have a link here, and this brings it up. So we have these storm crows that are up here. We have some art for the storm crows. And I already have the storm crows actually on the map for you, so you can just start using them right away here. I have a couple of them hidden. So what we can do is, we can right click and unhide them and say, oh, the storm crows are attacking you, blah, blah, blah. And we can double click them, open them up, and we can roll their attacks. They're going to make a claw attack. So I click on that, and it comes up here, claws. So I click my attack button. I'm going to roll this as normal, but I can roll advantage or disadvantage. And it was a nat 1. That's a miss. So the next Storm Crow attacks. He rolled a 21. That's a hit. So let's roll some damage. All right. Now, you'll notice there's no dice coming up. There are dice, but as I mentioned earlier, Foundry allows modules. So they just had the community create a dice module. It was easier to do it that way. So I'm going to enable that module right now to show you. I'll come up into my settings, manage modules, and I have Dice So Nice right here. I'm going to enable this module. Reload, come back in. And now when I roll that attack, I'll get some dice up here. And you can actually change the dice, there's settings, and you can make them look cool. There's all different skins and all sorts of cool stuff. So it's a fun module. But maybe your players have bad computers and you don't want to add that extra overhead to the graphics and stuff. So you can leave the dice disabled if you want. So anyways, that's how that will all work. So I want to show you now kind of like more of a few other things here. So this whole thing is going to happen, and then this is going to move outside. So we're going to go outside the cathedral now. Now I'm just viewing scenes. If you're playing, you would actually activate the scene. That's what will bring your players into the scene. As the DM, you can navigate around, but to bring your players in, you would activate the scene, and that will pull them to you. So you'll notice here, it's outside and it's snowing. We actually have some weather effects. It's all built in. It's part of Foundry. And there's a module called FX Master that you probably want that adds some more stuff to this, but it's pretty cool. So one of the things that happens out here, I already have these guys up, but I'll show you, is when we get out here, I'm going to come into my journal again, and this is actually called at the Dark Wood. So this tells you how they have to go outside and everything, and there's some random encounters out here. So this says roll thrice on lurking dangers as the heroes approach the edge of town. So if I click this, it will pull up a table, a roll table. And the tables are all right up here. I only have a few right now, as this is still a work in progress. But what I can do with this, I'm going to bring up the chat menu, is all right, I'm the DM, I need to roll, see what kind of lurking dangers they're going to run into. I click roll, and it rolls it, and they're going to get a swamp. So a couple things. First off, on the map down here for the DM, I already put some of the tokens out here. Actually, I deleted a few of them earlier, but they'll all be out here that you can just grab them and bring them up to the map and reveal them if you want. But, maybe you want to throw an extra one because your party's 6 players instead of 4 and you feel like it's a little underpowered. You can always just grab from here and drag them out right from that roll table. So I'll drag out 2 of these guys, and I can just start playing with them right now. Let's make a bite attack. Comes up in here, I'll click attack and normal, and it rolls it. So 11 is probably not a hit, but let's say it is. This guy now needs to make a saving throw. So what I think I can do here is, as the player or as the DM, if it's the other way around, I can click on him and just click right here on the saving throw, and it will roll the saving throw for me. I don't have to open the character sheet, find the saving throws. So he nat 20, and he's good to go. So that makes it really nice and easy. Right now I'm doing private GM roles, but you could set it to public roles and stuff like that. So that's kind of neat how that all works. That's how a roll table would work in here. And let's do one more of those roles real quick just to see here. So let's bring that table up. I'm going to reset it and roll again. Let's see what we get this time. This time we got a hooded lantern. So that's this guy. Or a hooded lantern anchorin. It's actually a type of creature. So we can bring one of those out, and they're a tiny creature. Let's zoom in a little here. But there he is, and I can pull him up and do his whole thing. He's got his dark ray. So we'll just do our little attack there. And there it is. Oh, nat 1. I'm all over the place in my rolls today. So that's how that all works. So I want to show you now kind of more of a world map. So as we move into Chapter 2, the players go into the Dark Wood, and there's a whole bunch of different encounters there as they make their way to the Dark Wood to their end location that they're trying to get to. So here's the Dark Wood map. So the players are going to start off coming from here, from the city or the village, and they will start off at the crossroad, and then they'll make a decision whether they want to go this way or this way. And again, I'm going to click right here at this thing, and I have the numbers come up, and I can now, depending on where they go, I can bring up an encounter location. So I want to do this one right here, this Dark Creeper Ambush. I'm just going to click this, brings it up for me. Now, this is also in Chapter 2 over here. It's right here, but this was just a quicker shortcut. So I get a DM map here. I get all the information. I got even some artwork here. Pretty cool. So let's bring up the scene. I already have it set up here. If I didn't, I could come right in here and pull it up from here. Just by going view scene or activate for my players. And here's my hero token right here. So he's in here. And it's dark out, by the way, so he's probably not seeing anything. I don't think he's set up with vision, so I'm going to give him a torch right now. So he doesn't have it, or actually, no, I do have him set up with some vision. It looks like so he's got 30 feet of dark vision. But if I wanted to give him a torch, I could do that too. So I could say we're going to give him 40 feet of dim light and 20 feet of bright light, like a torch. We'll update that, and now he's got his torch out. So you can see here I have some hidden tokens. He doesn't know those guys are there yet, but they're going to come out. So I'm going to reveal that token and bring them out, and have some combat started here. And just like before, this guy is gonna do his his light crossbow, let's say, whatever, and we do our rolls. So it's nice though because again, we have this big area and we're able to just set up our pins and get to any of the the information we want for those particular locations. So one last thing I want to show you. I got a bigger map here that I like a lot. Chapter 3, the players end up at a castle. So I want to show this map off because it is pretty cool. So they come to Adric's Folly. Uh, Seen here, and it's a big map. It's really big, and I was kind of had fun with this because I was like, oh, you got these battlements. So if you're on either side of the wall, you can't see over the wall, but you can generally see that hey, there's guys on top. So I wanted to let people on the bottom see the top of the ramparts, but not over it. So I set up some good dynamic lighting for this. So here's our hero. He comes up, and he can see up here, you can see, hey, there's some people up on the wall, and if you move around, depending on his angle, you can see, see some different stuff. But he can't see inside. He doesn't see anybody in there. This guy can see everybody. He can see people on this side and this side. Person on this side can see up here, but can't see out. So, a fun way to set up the lighting here, I thought, and I had some fun setting that up. In here we can see we have some torches. You can kind of see the lighting. If I was to bring our hero in there. Drag him in there real quick. You can see, the way the lighting is in here, and again, I can set this lighting up. You can see there's light here and here. I can set this light up as an animation effect. I can set it to torch, so it has more of like a flickering effect. Um, so it becomes kind of closer to this. You'll see this flickering effect in there. So kind of neat, and you could change the intensity and stuff of that. So yeah, this is a really big map. There's a lot to it. I think I'm going to add some assets to this, licensed ones, of course, but to just kind of make this castle look a little bit more fleshed out with furniture and stuff like that. So I'm going to work on doing that next. But it's a really big map. You got a basement down here and everything. So a couple of other things I wanted to point out. You may have noticed when I pulled up my character sheets and there's this cool black and white theme. It's actually another module, a dark mode module that I really like. So um, if you don't have that, it's fine. It's not going to break anything. It's just something I like and I thought looked cool for the whole Rise of the Drow theme. But I'll disable it just to kind of show you real quick what it looks like without the dark mode. So I'll just disable this module, refresh real quick, and I will pull up uh, another sheet, thing here for you. And this is what it normally looks like. And if I pull up one of the NPCs, this is what their sheet looks like. So I personally am a fan of the dark mode. You'll see some, you notice D&D Beyond logos on here and stuff. There is D&D Beyond integration for Foundry. There's an add-on called Beyond 20. So if you're a D&D Beyond person, you can import your monsters. You can roll from your character sheet on there. You can import a character sheet from D&D Beyond right into the Foundry character sheet, so you can just create your character in D&D Beyond, but then import it with a JSON right into Foundry and still use a Foundry character sheet. So that's kind of cool too. So it definitely and Beyond 20 is the same or the same Chrome extension that Roll20 uses. It's just a little bit more powerful. In Foundry, you get this other um, extension called VTT Assets, and you get a module called VTT Assets, and that's how it lets you actually import your stuff to your game, which is super super cool. Definitely recommend it. I'm gonna go back to our dark mode here. And then you can actually do other types of character sheets if you don't like I'll show you the hero character sheet here. If you don't like the hero's character sheet, there's a module there's one that kind of looks similar to a D&D Beyond one, and I think there's a couple other ones out there that you can get that are pretty cool. So yeah, there's all sorts of neat stuff out there. Um, but that's it. That's Rise of the Drow for Foundry. Can't really tell you when this will be out because I have a full-time job and a family, and I'm really just doing this for the love of the game, and to help out. So I hope it's out at some point soon. I'm gonna really try to work on it through the holidays and get something out for everybody. But check out AAW games, Adventure of the Week or Venture a Week games. Check out Foundry VTT. All stuff I highly recommend. And I think you guys will really like it. I think you'll enjoy it. Adventure a Week has a lot of other stuff as well. They've got like I said, they have their mini dungeons. They've got this Underworld Races and Classes book you can see here that's really cool. And you can get that in a hardcover as well. Most of their stuff, though, is PDFs. So yeah, I mean, a ton of cool stuff out there that they've created. So definitely check them out. Um, so I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it useful. I hope you're excited about it as I am because it is definitely going to be very, very cool. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a good one.